we doing?
So today we are doing a duck Wellington, kind of like beef Wellington, Gordon Ramsay's favorite dish. Never heard of duck Wellington, never had duck, never done a Wellington, but we're getting our shallots nice and diced up for the duxelle, and we'll be back when we're doing our mushrooms. Alright, so now we're doing our mushrooms for our mushroom duxelle. We gotta chop these up nice and fine because this is gonna be one of the layers of filling for our Wellington. Alright, so now that we got our mushrooms chopped up, our shallots, and we also have our garlic done here, we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of oil in the bottom of our, what would you call this?
A plug-in pot.
Plug-in pot? In the bottom of our plug-in pot. Now we're gonna take our garlic and our shallots, add them in, and we'll be back when these start getting translucent. Alright, so Mom got me this for Christmas. We're gonna use the roasted garlic sea salt. And we're only gonna add just a pinch of this. Just for a touch of flavor. Add our mushrooms. Try not to make a mess. And yes, I didn't do a whole bunch because we're only doing duck breasts, so they're not that big. So now we're gonna let these mushrooms sweat out and reduce down a little bit. After that's done, we're gonna add a little bit of thyme. Okay, so now we're gonna add, I think you would call these sprigs of thyme. Is that what you would say?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go for sprigs. Alright, Mom's here supervising so I can use this. We're gonna go about...
Yes, I am.
About a tablespoon. About that much. Now we're gonna let that cook down and cook the alcohol off. So, our duck breasts were fairly small, so we pinned them together. We're gonna do our best here. We're gonna season it with some of the Osmos hickory salt. That way it has a touch of the smoke flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and give it a sear. Let's lightly sear our duck. Okay, so this is why we have grill pins here. So you've seen the size of the duck breast, so I went ahead and I butterflied them out and I connected them and used some grill pins. And they worked perfectly. It's pretty held together. So now we're gonna brush with some Kelly's Stone Ground Mustard, best mustard on the market. So if you haven't had it, definitely go try it. It's my favorite. So we're gonna go ahead and brush that all on there. Okay, so we have our prosciutto laid out on plastic wrap. We got our duck here that we seared and put mustard on. Now we're gonna take our mushroom duxelle. We're using some fancy stuff today. And we're gonna go ahead and spread it out on the prosciutto. We got our duxelle spread out on our prosciutto. We're gonna go ahead and grab our duck, lay it on there. Take it and wrap it up nice and tight in this plastic wrap.
Don't mind the noise of the baby.
Yeah. Now we're gonna tuck that. Okay, so now we're just taking our puff pastry, we're making it to where it lines up perfectly with this Wellington. Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap our Wellington. Make sure it's nice and tight. And it's gonna connect right there. Perfect. Okay, we got our Wellington nice and wrapped up here. And I went ahead and scored it a little bit, made it look a little pretty. And we're gonna go ahead and brush our egg wash right over the top of that. And we're gonna put it in the oven at 350. All right, so we used our little wire pot here to use the steam basket, and we steamed a sweet potato. We're gonna be making a sweet potato puree to go with our Wellington. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way this looks. So I used 2 spoons to make this cool little oval with the sweet potatoes. I pan-seared the asparagus with a little bit of this bourbon salt, and it turned out really well. And then this Wellington, we're fixing to find out how she turned out. Looks great. So let's give it a shot. First, a little bit of flaky salt. Man, I hate destroying this. Alright, let's check this doneness. Ooh. She's juicing. Look at that. You can see all the layering. You got the mushrooms, the prosciutto, puff pastry, and then your duck in there. Time to give her a shot. Alright, so we're at a perfect, oh, jumping up a little bit. So 140, probably about 144 by the time that's finished jumping. Perfect medium rare, let's give her a shot. I'm not sure exactly how to eat this. We're just gonna go for it.
Maybe you should have cut it.
That was like the best thing I've ever had. Holy cow. Puff pastry with the prosciutto matches perfectly with the mushrooms and the duck.
Thank you. Who for the duck?
Aaron.
Well,
Reed.
Reed.
And Aaron's wife, because
Sydney.
Sydney, because she had to drive across town to deliver it for me. But